I really this week want to focus on finding small moments of joy and speaking to myself in a more positive way. I want to have that freedom when I move to Cornwall that I intended on having. I want to make those moments. It's been quite difficult to stay positive with the weather and just with the state of the world. I really want to use my videos as a way of people being able to escape that and still live a simple but meaningful life. Really going to work on my happiness, I think, because it's very easy during cold months with difficult news. It can be a very easy time to get caught up in thinking and get caught up in what's going wrong. And I would love to focus on where my luck lies, how lucky I am. Basically, gratitude is one of the only ways that I know how to love myself and love my life, and gratitude is my way of doing that. So that's what I'm gonna reinstill this week. You wait for the right weather and the right temperature and the right mood to do everything. Not enough of those happy and unique moments happen where we really feel like, wow, I'm so fortunate. For both of us, since moving to Cornwall, it's been very much about adjustments. It's been an adjustment period, and now it needs to be about creating enjoyment for ourselves, being grateful and truly making the most of all the things that we did to get to this stage in our lives, instead of always looking for the next thing and wondering about the next steps. I've made myself a cup of tea, got the Cosy fire on. I've been watching Mallory Towers, which is by Enid Blyton. It's on CBBC, and I realised that watching shows meant for children or teenagers or whatever it is, I feel like they're really healing for my inner child. I feel that it brings girlhood back for me. It made me actually want to cry multiple times, because I feel that girlhood cannot be replicated once you've passed it. There are certain things and feelings that you can evoke, but that is very much a period of life or a time in people's lives that just doesn't remain. It's impossible really for it to. But one way that I keep it alive a little bit unintentionally is by watching Mallory Towers. I found being a little girl quite a emotionally complicated time. Intuitive and very friendship driven and loyalty driven. I think child's development is not my place to speak on, because I don't know enough about it, but I just think that girls are very they're learning emotional awareness, emotional intelligence, and that is girlhood for me. I remember the feeling of being a little girl. It's actually a really lovely, like, inner child exercise to do. I will get ready later, but I don't want to get ready yet. I got these amazing mini scented candles from Scent Evil. They're really tiny and thin, which is perfect because I have my mini mouse. Well, it's not mini actually, it's a normal size mouse. It's hard to find the right thickness, but these are scented, so usually they aren't, and they smell absolutely amazing, like so fresh. Toss me a lifebelt and save me. I'll help. I'd love to. Just not for you whispering about me. I'm just cooking myself some brunch, and I'll show you what I've done. I've got red onion, only a quarter of it, a bit of garlic and some mooty chopped tomatoes. Shakshuka is one of my go-to breakfasts or brunches because it's so easy to do and it is really, really delicious. I usually add red pepper, but I didn't have any today. I would recommend using it, but because I didn't have any, I used cheese. If I had pepper, I wouldn't add cheese, just so that you know how to make it if you want to make it at home. But I'm sure any recipe online would be perfect and easy to follow. Just dropped loads of tomato on my newly washed white trousers, so that's really annoying. I'm having a nightmare eating this today. Just a note for when you're cooking it, it's much better to have a proper lid that closes over the top of your frying pan instead of using tin foil. I just didn't have the relevant stuff today, but it's quite a quick cook with a lid, and with tin foil it can take a little bit longer and then it goes from being not ready to ready very quickly. I'm just going to get ready to go on a walk, and I wanted to have a little chat about trying to remain positive when there isn't something to feel positive about, like an event or a change, for example. So with losing my job, if anything happens, like a progression happens and someone gets back in touch with me, then my mood is boosted and I feel secure, and then a couple of days pass and where there's no movement forward, negative self-talk starts to come back in. It's because of the financial pressure of it. If there were no financial pressure, then I would be able to be patient, but there is. So it makes it hard to be positive without something happening that makes me feel secure. I'm gonna have to try and combat that myself. And the reason I'm talking about it is because I think that there can be so many times in our lives where we feel nervous about something, or we need or want something to change and it can't happen straight away, and having a negative attitude that something won't change is obviously going to further steer you in that direction. One way that I'm going to try and remain positive in my job search is, I think I'm going to have to write myself down some affirmations and just read them every day, or anytime I have a negative thought I need to interrupt it with something positive, like rewrite the self-belief with something positive. For example, I'm sort of saying to myself, I'm not going to find anything, I'm too picky, or I'm not going to be good enough, or there's going to be competition out there that I can't compete with. That's kind of the probably underlying feeling that is arising when things aren't going my way. Writing an affirmation that says, good opportunities will find me, I am good at what I do, there is something perfect out there for me, this is a new opportunity and a new chapter to progress in my life. There's definitely different things I can say to myself that will keep my hope levels high enough, because I am someone that I love hope, I love feeling hopeful, and I love thinking about the future and endless possibilities. So that is something that I think will help me, and I am going to write it down and I'm going to read it every day. Another thing that's quite important, I think, if you are having a hard time with something, not overdoing how much you focus on it or how much you think about it. I should have given myself time today to fixate on something else and something unrelated to my concerns, because I think that it's really tiring and it's hard to be positive about something that just simply isn't being put to rest sometimes. I do think it's important to have time away. So last week my routine was waking up early, coming back, getting on with a certain amount of work, and then having the day free. And I find it easier to control my emotions when I have that little pocket of, that's when I'm going to do it and I'll be done. But today I kind of allowed, like, it's 4 o'clock now and I only just stopped looking for jobs and applying for things. So as much as I may have got more done, I've struggled to keep on track of what I've done, feel very caught up in it. So I do think it's better to not burn out try and have an evening where I don't think about any of that, and maybe just before bed I'll write myself a little list of what it is I'm doing tomorrow, and I'll tick it off as I go tomorrow morning. You know, I was doing my candle making. I ordered like 24 glass pots so I've got loads of fragrance. I want to do the candle making, especially whilst I've got this time where I don't need to work all day long. So I'm going to show you my pots. They're not particularly interesting, but I did have a bit of a job picking them just in case I were to try and sell them locally. That's not necessarily the focus at the moment because I am not experienced enough in how they're going to burn, for example. I'm going to do some watercolour painting and make stickers for the candles. I just think it'll be really, really nice. I just kind of wanted to do like really specific locations. For example, Porthgwara is so magical and so beautiful and I absolutely adore it, and I saw little seals there and it's just gorgeous, and I think if I found something I could buy online that looked like Porthgwara or was to do with it, I would buy it. But then Prussia Cove, for example, is not that different. So would I be able to get that across correctly? Also, obviously, I'm not picking the busiest places or the most, like, the places that people know that well. But local people would know it, so I don't know. This is the normal sized candle, which... this is the kind of candle size that I would typically buy, but the only thing I find is sometimes I buy these and I'm quite gutted when it's run out because I tend to put them on a lot, and I would love to make candles that are a part of ritual. Like, I don't know, if you put it on when you're reading or you put it on when you're cooking dinner, and I want to have like thoughtful wording on there so that it can be a moment of calm. That's what I would like to do with the candles. So I've picked like a frosted matte. I didn't really want a shine on it because it just didn't feel as classy to have a shiny white glass. It felt quite modern. They are quite contemporary, but I guess to a degree they're nondescript, and I want a sticker over the top here, just a nice little sticker. But this is the bigger size, but just so you can see the difference in size, this is a little bit more luxurious to have one of this size. I typically don't buy ones this big just from a price point, but I would like to start using them because they obviously go further. But yeah, those are the pots so far. I'll probably invest in smaller ones. I've had more issues when I've bought small candles with the even burn, but I did want to say, would you be interested in a candle making series, like the different parts of it, like making the packaging and stuff? Like, if you're interested, I will definitely include it. I don't know, unless it's all being done in one video, I don't know how interesting it is. I'm about to take you on a beautiful walk around moody Mousehole, but I wanted to show you my update on the egg dish. I want it to be quite fussy and detailed, but I just don't really know how to do that in a beautiful way, so I'm basically adding to it every few days very slowly, which I don't know if I'm going to overdo it, but I'm just going to keep trying and adding more detail, and then maybe if it looks ugly at the end, I just won't show anybody. I'm going to go out anyway because I need to differentiate being in the house and working from coming home and having a nice evening. The weather is disgusting. would love to create a candle that is English, country, cottage, garden inspired. I would want the box to be the abundance of summer and spring, and I would like for the scent to obviously be quite floral and fresh, and just to give that feeling of having your doors and windows open in the summer, hearing the birds singing and being outside, having a cup of tea, that kind of feeling. I'd love to create that in a candle. So that's what I've been painting this for. I was going to draw more, but I thought it might be nice to do a mixture of painting and drawing, and then I won't get bored of one. The seasons that I remember as a little girl versus as an adult, I think the decline of bees and butterflies is quite apparent to me personally. I don't know how everyone else feels about it. Same with even winter, the frosty mornings, the blue skies. I feel like we have less and less of that. I don't know if I was just fortunate as a child that we had nicer weather for a while, I'm not sure, but I would like to capture my childhood vision of the seasons as opposed to maybe how they are now as an adult. I think that just adds an element of whimsy to it, which I'm always trying to create and seek. I could not be less in the mood this week for cooking. Not having the veg box come, I've just not wanted to cook anything, and I've not wanted to buy ingredients from Sainsbury's when it's so overpriced and then come back and maybe not need all of the stuff that I've bought for one meal. And I don't really like buying just for the day, so we've been having like convenience meals which aren't the most nourishing, but I really just cannot be bothered. So on the weekend I think we'll have to go and get some bits, but I'm really not in the mood for cooking. So I've had quite a lot of not very healthy things today. So I've had too much sugar, so I don't really fancy food that much. I'm kind of full up on sugar, so I might just have a pot noodle and added a bit of health for the healthy day and call it a day with that. But I'm sorry there's no cooking in this vlog. But when I get my veg box back, and on the weekend I might go to the butcher's, and then there'll be more cooking, because I'm really not in the mood at all right now, and I'm just going to give myself a break, and hopefully that'll give me some fresh ideas, because I do get kind of bored with the repetition. And where I've been challenging myself to make new meals and recipes, like the apple pie, that was a challenge for me, and I really enjoyed it. And doing the carrot cake and the courgette cake, like they've all gone really well, and the bread. So the baking stuff has taken off for me and has started working much better than it used to. I used to be I wasn't scientific enough about baking before. So baking I've improved on, and cooking I just need a bit of influence, a bit of inspiration really, on what I want to cook. So I might look through my menu. I always say menu instead of recipes. I might look through my recipe books. I've got a couple of Rick Stein books, and some other things I can look at. So I might have a look and do a week of new meals next. That could be quite nice. But anyway, no food in this vlog, I'm afraid. I might just have my Bombay Bad Boy. Let me know what your favourite pot noodle flavour is if you eat them, which I'm sure most of you don't, but I do really enjoy Bombay Bad Boy, and I don't enjoy any of the others, really. I don't like chicken and mushroom, and I don't like the curry one. They do not have enough flavour, and I like the spice of a Bombay Bad Boy. But off of that, I'm going to take you on a magnificent walk tomorrow to Penrose, which is near Houston, if you're familiar. So you know you've got West Cornwall and you've got the Lizard Peninsula. Yeah, it's in between this bit and the Lizard Peninsula. It's right in the middle. So we have done the walk from the car park to Low Bar. We've done the walk from Porthleven to Low Bar, but we haven't done the other side, which you have to drive past the Navy base and down to the other National Trust car park to walk down to the river. I believe there is a loop that you can do, so that's on the cards tomorrow, and it'll be nice to do that together, because
Penrose is beautiful, really beautiful. So that side is the more countryside bit. There's not really any houses or anything anywhere near it. So I'm excited about that. But I think I'm just going to watch, I've been watching this show called Dinosaur, which is about an autistic Scottish girl and her family. So I think we're going to put that on. I'm going to make my pot noodle and I'll catch you from my walk.
Gratitude affirmations I'm taking into spring. How lucky am I to get to explore this beautiful world? How fortunate I am to hear the birds sing and to breathe such fresh air. Every day is a new opportunity to create, discover, and start again. Like spring, I shed old stories and I embrace new beginnings. I grow and I bloom. The wind carries away my pain and the sun nourishes my soul. I love every version of myself wholeheartedly. I have the power to build my dream life. Everything I want is within my reach and I'm deserving of it. I find great joy in the small things. I'm grateful for slow mornings, hearing birdsong, beautiful flowers. My heart and spirit are unique to me. I cherish myself and my contribution to this earth is meaningful. My heart is full of depth and my love to give is vast and precious. If you enjoy my slow living vlogs, then don't forget to subscribe so we can see each other again soon.